So in our story, there are times where we will lose lives, and we've only got 3 lives in our game. When we run out of lives in any computer game, we tend to die. The program ends. So we need to set up the code that will do that. So at the top of our file, after the rucksack, but before where we've done our lives and scores, we're going to write a new function. We're going to call it Gameover. So def game over brackets colon, and we're going to say this bit of code should only run if we have 0 lives or less. So if lives are less than or equal to 0, do this bit here. We're going to say print you have run out of lives, comma name, and then we're going to say print game over, and let's put in our score and our lives, which is this bit here, so we'll just call it in there. Okay, super. Now, at the moment, this bit of code, it's not going to do anything apart from say you've run out of lives in game over and telling you your score. We also need it to quit the game as well. So we need to teach Python one extra trick at the top. So underneath our from time import sleep, which we only need once for doing the sleep, we're going to do import sys, and we need this once for exit. Okay, so just comment to remind myself what it's for. So after our score here, we need to type sys.exit brackets. Okay, but we aren't quite finished there yet. We've written a piece of code here that will check if the number of lives are less than or equal to 0, say that we've run out of lives, tell us what our lives and scores are, and then exit the program. However, we need to actually call that bit of code through our game, just like we've done our lives and score when we need it. So the first time that we might have 0 lives is in scenario 3, when we lose a possible 3rd life. So if we go down to where we lose a life, which was when we threw the brush at the monster in my case, we need to add, after removing the brush, we need to say check for this game over. So game over brackets. At this point, it's going to check, do I have 0 lives or less? And if I do, it's going to run the bit of the code at the top. It's going to run this code and it's going to exit. Now, if you did the extension video as well, then you might want to also add game over at the end of the alternative with sub-question 3a. If you didn't, then don't worry about that. If you've got more than 3 situations, then you need to make sure you've added game over at the end each time you take a life away in the future situations, in the future scenarios. If you've decided to have 2 lives or 1 life, then you need to add it in the appropriate places. Okay, so we can now test that. And here comes the monster. He's going to throw the brush at it. Here we go. 0 lives. Your score is 0, and we've said game over, and the process has died. So in yours, it will just exit the program. So there we go. We have now got a game over. Well, that is if we run out of lives. The next video will show you what to do if they manage to beat the game.